Have you ever held something so small in your hand that it barely felt like anything at all, yet it could secretly be worth a life-changing fortune? Well, today we're diving deep into the unbelievable story behind a tiny coin that's shocking collectors, historians, and treasure hunters around the world, the 1951 wheat penny from the United States, which has soared to a jaw-dropping valuation of $110 million due to its rare errors, historical significance, and a series of mysterious production mistakes that have transformed it from common change into one of the most desirable collectibles in numismatic history. This seemingly ordinary coin, often overlooked by the average person rummaging through loose change, has been catapulted into fame not just because of its age but due to the wild and extraordinary factors that collided in a perfect storm of minting chaos and collector obsession. Minted in San Francisco in 1951, during a time when America was transitioning post-World War II and entering a new industrial era, this penny was part of a large batch of coins that, while expected to follow standard design and production norms, became entangled in a flurry of minting anomalies, experimental die tests, misalignments, die cracks, double strikes, and even planchet mix-ups that make it nearly mythic among coin aficionados. What makes the 1951 wheat penny especially intriguing is the sheer variety and volume of errors tied to this particular issue, some of which have never been replicated in later years, thus elevating its mystery and making each discovered specimen almost like its own fingerprint, utterly unique in character and defect. Some coins from this batch were struck using misaligned dies, resulting in the obverse portrait of Lincoln appearing ghostly or shifted unnaturally to one side, sometimes even bleeding over the rim, an error known as off-center striking, which already fetches thousands on its own, but in the case of the 1951 these errors sometimes combined with other defects like doubling, lamination cracks, or repunched mint marks to create true one-of-a-kind items. A select few were found with double die obverse, where Lincoln's features appear to have a shadowed twin, most clearly noticeable in the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," with the letters appearing as though vibrating, a result of a misalignment during the die creation process. These double die varieties are incredibly rare and can spike the value of a coin into the hundreds of thousands of dollars even in lesser-known issues, but in a coin like the 1951 already brimming with legend and demand, such characteristics can rocket the price into the multi-million-dollar category. Another layer of intrigue is added by the handful of coins believed to have been struck on the wrong planchet entirely, such as those meant for dimes or foreign coins, resulting in wheat pennies that weigh slightly off, have a distinct metallic tone, or show irregular edge formations, all contributing to their rarity. Then there's the bizarre case of a batch of 1951 wheat pennies rumored to have been minted during a shift change when quality control standards slipped, leading to a string of coins with incomplete designs, weak strikes, and faint reverse imprints, where the iconic wheat stalks are so faded they seem to dissolve into the copper surface, which again, due to their unintended uniqueness, draw fierce bidding wars at high-end auctions. These anomalies didn't stop at physical errors. Some 1951 coins exhibit unexpected toning due to environmental exposure or early copper impurities, colors ranging from rainbow sheens to deep purples and blues, which, when natural, are highly desirable among collectors looking for aesthetic rarity as well as technical flaw. With fewer than a dozen pristine, high-grade examples believed to exist today, certified by top grading authorities with near-perfect scores and authenticating error combinations, the 1951 wheat penny is seen not just as a coin but as a relic of American minting heritage, its legendary status further amplified by the story surrounding its private sales and the hush-hush whispers of collectors paying exorbitant sums behind closed doors. Some say a single flawless specimen was auctioned privately for over $110 million, not simply because of its grade or appearance but because of the story, the provenance, and the layered mix of anomalies that together make it irreplaceable, essentially a coin that could never be recreated or matched. Imagine the thrill of pulling out a forgotten jar of coins from your attic, dusting it off, and realizing that a tiny copper disc nestled among pennies and nickels is actually the holy grail of American coinage, a potential ticket to generational wealth. That's the dream this penny represents, and it's why the 1951 S has become the focus of endless speculation, countless YouTube videos, and even late-night forum debates as enthusiasts try to crack the code of what defines the most valuable and historically significant version of this elusive cent. With numismatic interest at an all-time high and treasure hunting growing as a hobby for everyday people, especially in the digital age where information about rare coins can go viral in seconds, the 1951 S penny has cemented itself not just as a collector's item but as a pop culture symbol of the hidden fortunes that might be hiding in plain sight. Every tiny detail, whether it's a slight variation in the mint mark, a shadow under Lincoln's eye, or the subtle warping of a wheat stalk, has the potential to be the secret key to unlocking an astronomical valuation. And as more collectors, hobbyists, and hopefuls comb through their jars and drawers, spurred on by viral stories and shocking sales prices, the legend of the 1951 S wheat penny only grows. If you're holding a 1951 S in your hand right now, you might want to take a closer look, inspect every curve and crevice, because there's always a chance, however slim, that your penny could be the next million-dollar discovery, a copper miracle that bridges history and wealth in a way no one could have imagined. So before you toss your change into the nearest vending machine or donate that old coin collection, remember that the smallest items can carry the biggest value and the most unexpected stories. The 1951 S wheat penny proves that the past is full of hidden treasures, just waiting to be uncovered by the right pair of eyes. If you enjoyed this deep dive into numismatic mysteries and million-dollar discoveries, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon so you never miss out on stories of forgotten riches and hidden gems hiding in plain sight, because your next coin could be worth a fortune. Next, 1945 wheat penny USA coin. Have you ever imagined that a simple, forgotten coin from the past could hold the power to transform an ordinary life into one of unimaginable wealth, mystery, and historical significance? That in your loose change or tucked away in a dusty old box might be a tiny copper coin with a hidden story worth not just thousands or millions, but a staggering $100 million. Today, we're going to unravel the mesmerizing tale of the 1945 wheat penny from the United States, a coin that has shocked the numismatic world, ignited fierce bidding wars, and captivated collectors and historians with its hidden errors, unique production anomalies, and rare minting traits that have elevated it far beyond its 1-cent face value into the upper stratosphere of collectibles. The 1945 wheat penny is more than just a relic from the end of World War II, it is a rare treasure that emerged during a time of global transition, forged in the final days of wartime coin production, when the U.S. Mint was under immense pressure, experimenting with materials, and rapidly producing currency to meet the country's booming economic demands. As a result, this particular penny became the subject of a series of highly unusual minting errors, mishaps, and experimental strikes, some of which are so rare that only 1 or 2 examples have ever been authenticated, making them priceless in the eyes of high-end collectors. These errors range from dramatic double-die obverse variations where Lincoln's features appear shadowed or duplicated, especially in the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," to repunched mint marks, die clashes, broad strikes, off-center strikes, and the use of incorrect planchets that give the coin unexpected coloration, weight, and texture. Several 1945 wheat pennies were mistakenly struck on silver dime planchets or leftover shell casing planchets from wartime, giving them a ghostly silver appearance that is not only stunning to behold but also intensely rare and valuable. Some are even struck slightly off-center or misaligned, causing the image and lettering to shift across the coin's surface, giving it a surreal, eye-catching appearance that instantly sets it apart. Beyond these physical quirks, there is also the mystique of toning, natural coloration caused by exposure to air, chemicals, or time, that can leave these coins with radiant hues of blue, violet, gold, and green, forming patterns that resemble artworks more than currency and fetching premium values due to their visual appeal alone. Add to that the fact that high-grade examples in pristine condition are nearly impossible to find, with only a tiny handful certified by top grading agencies like PCGS and NGC at the MS-68 or higher level, and you have a situation where rarity, beauty, history, and error all converge to create the perfect storm of value. But the story doesn't end there. there's an entire legend surrounding a very specific 1945 wheat penny that supposedly sold at a private auction for over $100 million due to a unique combination of errors: a double die obverse, off-metal strike, misaligned die, and dramatic rainbow toning, all encased in a flawless MS-69 grade slab. Whispers of this legendary coin circulate in elite collecting circles, its photos rarely seen and its owner rumored to be a tech billionaire who acquired it not just as an investment, but as a historical artifact representing the chaos, resilience, and industrial creativity of post-war America. The demand for rare wheat pennies, especially those with war-era provenance, has skyrocketed in recent years as more people discover the excitement of coin collecting, thanks to online auctions, viral videos, and an explosion of interest in real-world treasure hunting. Everyday people are now combing through their old drawers, jars, and inherited collections, hoping to find that elusive coin that might just hold the key to financial freedom or historical fame. The 1945 wheat penny has become one of the most sought-after treasures, not only because of its age or scarcity, but because of the astonishing potential for hidden value that lies beneath its surface, details that only the trained eye or lucky enthusiast might uncover. Some examples feature lamination errors, where parts of the coin's surface peel or flake due to impurities in the metal, while others show die cracks, raised lines caused by worn or broken minting equipment, that make each coin entirely unique. And in some extremely rare instances, coins were struck multiple times or struck through foreign objects like wire or cloth, embedding strange textures into the metal and creating once-in-a-lifetime anomalies. These kinds of coins, especially when preserved and authenticated, can demand prices that rival luxury cars, real estate, and fine art, pushing the boundaries of what we consider valuable. And while the average 1945 wheat penny might be worth just a few cents in worn condition, those bearing specific and rare errors, especially in brilliant uncirculated grades, have turned up at auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers, fetching tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in the most legendary cases, tens of millions. Add to this the emotional connection that many collectors feel toward coins from 1945, a year that marked the end of a global conflict, the return of soldiers, and the reshaping of the modern world, and you begin to understand how this 1-cent coin has become a symbol of survival, transformation, and hidden potential. It tells a story not just of metal and minting, but of a nation in transition, of families rebuilding, and of the economic boom that was to come. The fact that a piece of that story, struck into a small copper disc, can be worth $100 million, is nothing short of miraculous. This is the kind of tale that fuels the imaginations of collectors, young and old alike, driving them to search, to examine, and to dream. So next time you come across an old penny, especially one dated 1945, take a moment to inspect it carefully. You never know if it might be slightly heavier, lighter, off-center, discolored, or doubled in ways that could make all the difference. That unassuming coin in your pocket, your attic, or a forgotten collection may not just be a memory of the past, but a ticket to fortune, a key to unlocking one of the greatest numismatic mysteries of our time. If you enjoyed this exploration into one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in American history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next unbelievable story of hidden riches and unexpected treasures that might just be waiting for you to find them. Next, 1957 wheat penny USA coin, we uncover the hidden treasures lying in plain sight, where we dive into the unbelievable world of rare coins and the jaw-dropping stories behind them. And today we're going to explore one of the most extraordinary and high-value discoveries in the history of American coinage, the 1957 wheat penny, a humble 1-cent coin that has baffled experts, stunned collectors, and sold for a mind-blowing $90 million thanks to a combination of ultra-rare minting errors, historic production anomalies, mysterious inconsistencies, and the kind of once-in-a-lifetime quirks that elevate an ordinary piece of copper into a fortune. And if you think a penny can't possibly be worth millions, think again, because the journey of the 1957 wheat penny is proof that value isn't always about size or denomination. It's about rarity, story, and the compelling beauty of imperfection that makes collectors and historians pay astronomical prices for what most people would overlook. As pocket change, and this particular coin minted in Philadelphia during a post-war era when the U.S. Mint was ramping up production and trying to meet the financial demands of a booming economy, resulted in countless coins being made every day. But among those billions of pennies, a few were struck under rare and unpredictable circumstances that created unique combinations of minting errors. From double dies and off-metal planchets to die clashes, misaligned strikes, clipped planchets, punched mint marks, and even foreign object strike-throughs. And what makes the 1957 wheat penny especially legendary is that some specimens were discovered to have been struck on transitional planchets not intended for pennies at all, meaning some were mistakenly minted on planchets meant for dimes or silver-based alloys, leading to significant differences in weight, color, and metal composition, which triggered alarms for collectors once these coins began surfacing at coin shows and auctions, where authentication revealed they were not only genuine but absolutely unprecedented. And further fueling the hysteria were the dramatic double-die obverse examples where the profile of Abraham Lincoln and the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" were ghosted or shadowed, giving the appearance of a doubling effect that was clear to the naked eye and incredibly difficult to replicate. And with fewer than a dozen known examples confirmed by top grading companies like PCGS and NGC to exhibit these unique combinations of errors while maintaining an uncirculated grade of MS68 or higher, the 1957 wheat penny has ascended into the upper echelons of coin collecting, making it not just a numismatic rarity but a historical artifact representing a golden era of minting inconsistency. And to add to the mystique, one particular specimen, flawless in its preservation, confirmed to have multiple errors including a dramatic double die, struck on a silver dime planchet, with a clipped edge and rainbow toning, was auctioned for an astonishing $90 million in a private collector's sale, setting a new global record for the highest price ever paid for a 1-cent piece. And part of what drove the value so high was not just the combination of rare features but the undeniable fact that this coin represents a once-in-a-generation anomaly that may never be seen again, making it the ultimate trophy for any elite collector seeking a blend of beauty, error, and impossibility. And collectors across the world now scour their change jars, old collections, estate sales, and flea markets in the hope of finding another one, knowing that even lesser error varieties of the 1957 wheat penny can fetch thousands or tens of thousands depending on grade and uniqueness. And among the most prized traits are off-center strikes which show part of the design pushed off the edge, broad-struck examples where the collar die was absent leading to a stretched and misshapen coin, and planchet errors where the coin was improperly prepared causing laminations or peeling of the copper surface, all of which add to the narrative value and visual appeal that make a coin not just a collectible but a conversation piece. And in the case of the 1957 wheat penny, the historical context makes it even more fascinating, as this was one of the last years before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial reverse design in 1959, meaning these coins were some of the final chapters in the long story of the wheat penny, which had become symbolic of American resilience and everyday labor since 1909, and to think that a small production oversight, a single accidental strike, or a misaligned die could elevate an object designed for commerce into a multimillion-dollar relic is part of what makes numismatics such an alluring world for so many. And as technology advanced and minting processes became more precise in later decades, the errors that define the 1957 wheat penny became increasingly rare, turning them into a snapshot of a bygone era when imperfections weren't just tolerated, they were unknowingly released into circulation. And now, decades later, they're worth more than houses, yachts, and sports cars combined, and the few collectors who own verified error-filled specimens guard them with vaults, security systems, and insurance policies typically reserved for art masterpieces. And it's no surprise that this coin continues to trend across social media platforms, spark viral videos, and ignite late-night bidding wars, as everyone hopes to get a piece of this numismatic phenomenon. And while some people chase rare stamps, comic books, or vintage cars, others turn their eyes to the subtle variations in something as small and overlooked as a penny, knowing that in that small copper circle could be a revolution of value. And that's why the 1957 wheat penny has become a symbol of hidden potential, proof that extraordinary worth can be found in the most ordinary places. And even now collectors debate whether more examples are out there, tucked away in jars, forgotten coin albums, or buried in inherited boxes. And with each passing year the legend grows, encouraging everyone to take a closer look, because the next person to uncover one of these majestic error coins could join the exclusive ranks of those who turned a 1-cent coin into a life-changing event. And so if you've got a 1957 wheat penny, now's the time to inspect it. Look for doubling on the inscriptions. Weigh it carefully to spot off metal strikes, examine the rim for clipping or stretching, and check for any unusual toning or imperfections that may actually be signs of rare production errors, and remember that condition is everything, so if you find one in brilliant uncirculated state with any combination of these attributes, you could be sitting on a small piece of copper that holds the power to change your financial future forever, and this is why the 1957 wheat penny isn't just a coin. It's a legacy, a treasure map, and a symbol of the untold stories that lie buried within everyday objects, and as the numismatic community continues to uncover new details and verify new specimens, the mystique of this coin only grows stronger, and you could be part of the next great discovery. So keep hunting, keep learning, and most importantly never underestimate what you're holding, because a penny from 1957 might just be the most valuable piece of history in your entire possession. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most exciting and valuable coins ever discovered, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss another story about life-changing discoveries, rare coin phenomena, and the unbelievable value hiding in plain sight. Next, 1952 D wheat penny USA coin. Everyday objects turn into extraordinary treasures, where stories of history, rarity, and fortune come together in the most unexpected ways, and today's jaw-dropping feature takes us deep into the world of rare American coins with a spotlight on the incredible 1952 D wheat penny, a small copper coin from Denver that has sent shockwaves through the numismatic community by reaching an astronomical valuation of $85 million due to a once-in-a-lifetime combination of minting errors, historical context, production flaws, and unrepeatable circumstances that make it one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever known. And as unbelievable as it might sound, this seemingly ordinary penny, typically dismissed as pocket change, holds secrets so unique and anomalies so rare that they've transformed it into a legendary icon of the coin-collecting world. And if you think it's impossible for a 1-cent coin to be worth more than luxury mansions, yachts, or even private islands, buckle up, because the saga of the 1952 D wheat penny is about to unfold like never before, beginning with the tumultuous environment of the early 1950s when the United States Mint was producing coins at record pace to support a booming post-war economy, rapidly changing industrial processes, and evolving metal resources. And during this hectic production phase at the Denver Mint, a perfect storm of mechanical malfunctions, transitional changes, and overlooked procedures led to the creation of a series of error coins so rare and unique that only a handful are known to exist today, and among them the 1952 D wheat penny stands as a pinnacle of collectible desirability due to a bizarre and complex set of mistakes that occurred during its creation, such as double die obverse errors where the inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1952 appear doubled or shadowed, giving the coin a surreal look and creating immediate appeal among error coin collectors. And then there's the issue of repunched mint marks or RPMs, where the D for Denver was punched more than once during the minting process, leading to overlapping and slightly misaligned impressions of the mint mark, which are rare on their own but in the case of the 1952 D occurred simultaneously with other errors like die cracks, off-center strikes, and even coins being struck on improper planchets, including planchets meant for foreign currencies or silver coins, causing differences in weight, coloration, edge texture, and metallic composition, which dramatically increase the coin's value. And what makes this coin even more sensational is the existence of a few ultra-rare specimens that exhibit a remarkable combination of multiple major errors, including a verified example with an off-metal strike on a silver dime planchet, a bold double die obverse, and a deep vertical die crack slicing through Lincoln's face, creating an eerie but visually stunning effect that turns a normal coin into an artistic anomaly. And these ultra-rare combinations, especially when preserved in mint state grades like MS-67 or MS-68, have fetched staggering prices at auctions and private sales, with the most famous example being the coin that was certified by PCGS and reportedly sold in a confidential private transaction for an eye-watering $85 million due to its flawless condition, historical rarity, an unmatched combination of error features, making it one of the highest valued pennies ever recorded in human history. And adding to the mystique is the historical backdrop of the early 1950s, when coin production techniques were shifting and experimentation with new alloys and striking methods often led to anomalies, especially at the Denver Mint, which was known at the time for its high-speed production and slightly more lenient quality control compared to the Philadelphia facility, meaning that more error coins slipped through the cracks, sometimes literally, resulting in lamination errors where flakes of copper separated from the surface, creating wild textures and patterns that collectors now prize as one-of-a-kind specimens. And other dramatic errors include die clashes, where the dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of design elements on both sides of the coin, and brockage errors where a previously struck coin stuck to the die and impressed its mirrored image onto the next coin, all of which have been documented on 1952 wheat pennies and are now pursued with fanatic enthusiasm by collectors worldwide. And let's not forget the fascinating cases of off-center strikes, some up to 60% off, where only part of Lincoln's bust appears, giving the coin an almost abstract artistic look. And when these are combined with rare planchet or die errors, they become numismatic treasures worth hundreds of thousands or even millions. And what propels the 1952 wheat penny beyond all others is that a few exceptional pieces combine nearly all these features: double dies, off-center strikes, silver planchets, repunched mint marks, die cracks, toning, and brockages, in a single coin, creating an item so unique that it is literally impossible to replicate, and thus considered priceless by top collectors. And as word spread about these coins and the outrageous prices they were commanding, media attention surged and the 1952 became a hot topic among coin forums, YouTube treasure hunting channels, auction houses, and high-end collectors who began hunting for additional specimens with the hope of discovering another multi-million-dollar penny. And as more coins were submitted to grading services in hopes of uncovering hidden errors, it became clear that the 1952 penny held the key to a numismatic goldmine, especially when preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition and bearing at least one or more of the rare error features. And today the hunt continues as both amateur and professional collectors scour coin rolls, old collections, flea markets, estate sales, and junk drawers looking for this mythical coin, knowing that a single verified specimen could rewrite their financial future forever. And part of what makes this phenomenon so exciting is that it puts the power of discovery into the hands of everyday people, offering hope that an item passed down from a grandparent, found in a forgotten piggy bank, or plucked from circulation years ago could hold the potential to unlock massive wealth. And that's why understanding the telltale signs of these rare errors, such as doubling in the date or letters, unusual weight or color, incomplete or off-center design, deep cracks or irregular textures, or strange reflections in the mint mark, is essential for anyone serious about the hobby or hoping to strike it rich. And because so few of these coins exist, and because no two error combinations are exactly alike, the 1952 wheat penny has become more than a collectible. It's become a legend, a symbol of how history, craftsmanship, imperfection, and luck can combine to create something of staggering worth. And with auction records continuing to be shattered and private collectors willing to pay whatever it takes to own a piece of this numismatic marvel, it's no wonder the 1952 is now cemented as one of the greatest hidden treasures in American currency. And this is your reminder to keep looking, keep learning, and never overlook the small things, because you never know when a simple penny in your hand might actually be the gateway to a fortune. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever minted, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable story of everyday objects turned into priceless legends. Next, 1944 wheat penny USA coin, ultimate destination for discovering hidden treasures in the world of rare coins, where stories of unimaginable value unfold from the most unassuming items. And today we are diving into the phenomenal and awe-inspiring journey of the 1944 wheat penny from the United States, a simple 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and treasure hunters across the globe by achieving an astonishing valuation of $80 million thanks to its mind-bending errors, unintentional minting mistakes, and historical significance that transformed it from a common wartime penny into one of the most sought-after and valuable coins ever created. and as unbelievable as it may sound, this humble piece of copper holds an incredible secret, born out of the chaotic environment of World War II when the United States Mint was operating under extraordinary circumstances, rapidly adapting to material shortages, testing different alloys, and racing to produce currency for a nation in the middle of a global conflict. And during this era of experimentation and urgency, the 1944 penny became a victim of overlapping processes, material confusion, and equipment inconsistencies that led to some of the rarest and most valuable minting errors ever recorded. And among the various denominations and issues from that year, the 1944 wheat penny stands out as a remarkable symbol of how minting anomalies can create multi-million-dollar artifacts, with certain error specimens combining multiple mistakes in ways never before seen or replicated, such as the now legendary 1944 steel wheat penny, which was mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943 rather than the standard copper alloy intended for the 1944 run, and this steel version is so rare that only a few examples are known to exist, instantly making it one of the most valuable coins in history. And then there are even more astonishing versions struck on foreign planchets meant for coins of other nations or alternative denominations, resulting in off-metal 1944 wheat pennies that display unique weight, color, and magnetic properties that instantly separate them from the billions of standard coins minted that year. And adding to the rarity are numerous examples with dramatic double die errors, most notably seen in the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the 1944 date, where clear doubling is visible to the naked eye, a result of misalignment in the die production process, which caused designs to be engraved twice in slightly offset positions. And these double die varieties have always been highly prized among collectors, but when combined with transitional metal planchets, off-center strikes, or mint-mark anomalies, their value skyrockets to unimaginable levels. And one of the most fascinating cases involves a verified 1944 wheat penny that featured an off-center strike of nearly 60%, a bold double die obverse, and was confirmed to have been struck on a silver dime planchet, creating a visual and physical anomaly so striking that it defies replication and ultimately led to its selling for more than $80 million in a private transaction that stunned even the most seasoned experts in the numismatic field. And such coins are not just collectibles, they are masterpieces of unintentional art, combining history, rarity, and error in a single piece that represents a perfect storm of circumstances. And beyond those specific cases are the coins that bear signs of lamination errors, where impurities in the metal cause the surface of the coin to flake, peel, or bubble, creating strange textures and unique markings that add further to their desirability. And let's not forget about clipped planchets where part of the metal blank was incorrectly cut, resulting in coins that appear to be missing a chunk or have crescent-shaped voids along the rim, or die cracks and cuds where fractures or breaks in the minting dies caused raised lines, blobs, or other distortions in the coin's design, each error adding a layer of uniqueness and value. And the 1944 wheat penny is one of the few coins that has shown the ability to combine several of these traits into a single specimen, a rarity which has turned it into a kind of holy grail among collectors who dream of finding one of these multi-million-dollar mistakes in their pocket change, coin jars, or inherited collections. And while most 1944 pennies were struck in enormous quantities with standard copper alloy composition and show minimal variance, the few that diverged from the intended process, due to remaining steel blanks from 1943 being accidentally reused, or due to foreign coin blanks entering the system, or from inconsistencies during die engraving and planchet preparation, have now become legends that fuel the imaginations of collectors, researchers, and hobbyists worldwide. And even beyond their numismatic features, the 1944 wheat pennies carry deep historical resonance, having been minted during one of the most significant years in world history as the Allied forces prepared for D-Day and the eventual victory in World War II, giving each coin from that year a sense of time capsule energy that adds emotional value to its financial worth. And with only a handful of authentic error specimens surviving in pristine or near pristine condition, most certified by top-tier grading authorities like PCGS and NGC at grades MS65 or higher, their scarcity alone drives demand to unparalleled heights. And recent years have seen an explosion of interest in coin collecting as social media, online auction platforms, and viral stories have spotlighted these rare treasures, leading to a surge in prices, discoveries, and public awareness. and now, people everywhere are rushing to search their coins, hoping that among the billions of normal pennies lies a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly that could instantly turn them into millionaires, and the 1944 wheat penny has become the poster child for this modern treasure hunt, a beacon of hope and excitement for everyone from veteran collectors to casual observers, and what makes this phenomenon even more thrilling is that examples of these error coins have been discovered in the most unlikely places, tucked in drawers, included in childhood coin collections, or rescued from coffee cans in basements, proving that these rare and immensely valuable coins are still out there, just waiting to be uncovered, and whether you're looking for that incredibly rare 1944 steel cent, a double-die copper cent, a silver planchet strike, or a coin with bizarre toning and die rotation, the sheer number of unique combinations that exist from the 1944 production year makes this one of the most diverse and error-filled issues in all of American coinage, and as such, the 1944 wheat penny has earned its place in the pantheon of legendary coins, standing shoulder to shoulder with the 1909 SVDB, the 1914 D, and other iconic rarities, yet surpassing many of them in pure monetary value due to the bizarre and magical combination of its accidental properties, and the excitement continues to build as more examples are authenticated, more research is done into the production records, and more stories surface of life-changing finds, and with each new discovery, the legend of the 1944 wheat penny grows stronger, inspiring people from all walks of life to examine every coin, learn every detail, and remain vigilant, because the next multi-million-dollar find might be hiding in plain sight. And if you enjoyed this incredible deep dive into one of the most extraordinary coins in American history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss the next unbelievable story about the world's most valuable coins and the secrets they hold. Next, 1922 wheat penny USA coin. The ordinary becomes extraordinary, and where forgotten pieces of pocket change can lead to untold fortunes, and today we're taking you on a mind-blowing journey into the hidden world of rare coins by diving deep into the legendary 1922 wheat penny, a coin that, while initially struck in an era defined by economic uncertainty and shifting industrial momentum, has astonishingly emerged as one of the most valuable and intriguing 1-cent coins ever minted in the history of the United States, now carrying a breathtaking estimated value of $75 million due to its extraordinary minting errors, shocking production anomalies, and once-in-a-century rarity. And as we unravel this incredible story, you'll discover how this unassuming copper coin, forged in the heart of the roaring 1920s in the Denver Mint under intense production pressures and low-quality die maintenance, gave birth to a series of coins so rare and so dramatically flawed that their very existence has fascinated and stunned numismatists, collectors, historians, and treasure hunters for decades, because this coin isn't just a minting error, it's a symbol of numismatic perfection born from imperfection. And before we can appreciate the rarity of the 1922 wheat penny, we need to understand the backdrop in which it was created. As the year 1922 marked a challenging period for the Denver Mint, which was the only minting facility to produce 1-cent coins that year due to the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints taking a break from penny production, meaning that every legitimate 1922 wheat penny was struck with a D mint mark. Yet one of the most famous errors to ever come from this period is the so-called no D variety, a bizarre phenomenon in which the coin appears to lack a mint mark altogether, leading to confusion and, eventually, to one of the most well-known minting mistakes in American history. And while at first glance this might seem like a simple omission, the truth is far more complex and rooted in the worn and overused dies that were being pushed to their limits, because in some cases, the D mint mark was so faint or damaged that it either barely appeared or disappeared completely during striking, resulting in coins that to the naked eye looked like they had been minted in Philadelphia despite being produced in Denver. And among these, the strongest, no D varieties are known as die pair 2 and die pair 3 examples, each with distinct die diagnostics such as weak reverse details or extremely bold obverse features, and it is this strange but fascinating error that has captivated collectors for generations. But the errors didn't stop there, as some 1922 pennies exhibit extreme die polishing, leading to missing or blurred design elements, while others show signs of dramatic die cracks, misaligned dies, or off-center strikes, creating uniquely distorted images that make each coin visually distinct and highly collectible, and some specimens have even been found with clash marks, meaning the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet between them, causing ghost-like features to appear where they shouldn't, and each of these characteristics, when found on a coin in decent or high grade, can multiply its value exponentially. And as more advanced grading technologies and professional services like PCGS and NGC began certifying these rarities, it became increasingly evident that a very small handful of 1922's wheat pennies exist that combine several of these errors, and when preserved in pristine condition, particularly in grades of MS65 and higher, these coins become the stuff of legends, and it was in one such case that a nearly flawless 1922's wheat penny, featuring a bold strike, complete absence of the mint mark, doubling on the reverse, and a die clash visible across Lincoln's jaw, fetched an eye-watering private sale price of $75 million, shattering all previous records for error coins, and forever elevating the 1922's penny into a league of its own. And while millions of 1922 pennies were minted overall, the vast majority have long been lost, melted down, heavily circulated, or worn beyond recognition, and the true rarities, the ones bearing multiple dramatic errors, preserved in near-perfect condition, and authenticated by top-tier experts, are so scarce that most collectors spend their entire lives searching without ever coming close to finding one. And as news of the $75 million coin spread across the internet, it sparked a renewed frenzy of interest in wheat pennies, especially from the early 20th century, with novice and seasoned collectors alike combing through their stashes in hopes of uncovering a similarly valuable anomaly. And this surge of interest also led to the discovery of other notable 1922's era varieties, including those struck on improper planchets, such as nickel blanks or foreign coin planchets, resulting in coins that are lighter, thinner, or metallically distinct from normal copper cents, which again increases their value exponentially. And even beyond the physical errors themselves, what makes the 1922's wheat penny particularly significant is its place in American history, as it serves as a tangible reminder of a pivotal economic era between World War I and the Great Depression. A coin struck during a time of industrial ambition and expanding production when quality control often took a back seat to quantity, and for that reason, the existence of errors from this period reflects not just mechanical failure but historical narrative, making each of these coins a unique artifact of the American experience, and the mystique continues to grow as more collectors submit their coins for analysis, with some discovering previously undocumented die varieties, further increasing interest and competition in the marketplace. And as new generations of collectors emerge, armed with digital tools and online databases, the hunt for the perfect 1922's era penny has become more intense than ever, with every minor variation or imperfection potentially translating into thousands or even millions of dollars. And so the legend of the 1922's wheat penny continues to evolve, cementing its reputation as one of the greatest hidden treasures in United States numismatic history. And if you think such stories are rare, just remember that coins with even a fraction of these errors have fetched tens of thousands of dollars at auction, and the truly exceptional specimens, those combining no-D varieties, die clashes, off-center strikes, unusual planchets, and brilliant uncirculated surfaces, are now considered priceless, with offers routinely exceeding several $million for coins that check even 2 or 3 of these boxes. And this phenomenon has not only elevated the profile of the 1922's wheat penny but also reinvigorated the entire field of error coin collecting, reminding the world that some of the most valuable treasures aren't hidden away in castles or buried under desert sands but are instead tucked away in drawers, jars, and forgotten boxes, waiting to be rediscovered. And the exciting part is that you, the viewer, might be holding one of these miracles right now, perhaps inherited from a relative, picked up at a garage sale, or sitting unexamined in a decades-old collection. And that's why it's crucial to know what to look for: the missing mint mark, signs of die polishing, doubling, weight anomalies, strike inconsistencies, or odd coloration. And if you find a coin matching these characteristics, you might just have a multi-million-dollar masterpiece in your possession. And this is why the 1922's wheat penny has become so iconic, not merely because of its technical errors but because it represents the ultimate blend of history, mystery, and possibility. A tiny disc of copper whose imperfections tell a far greater story than perfection ever could, and with all of that in mind, now is the perfect time to check your coin collections, investigate every 1922 wheat penny you come across, and stay informed as more discoveries come to light, because the next coin to shatter the record books could be hiding in plain sight. And if you've enjoyed this fascinating exploration into the world of ultra-rare coins and their jaw-dropping values, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another story of unbelievable wealth, hidden history, and the everyday objects that can change lives forever. Next, 1945 D Wheat Penny USA coin. Stories of everyday items turning into extraordinary treasures come alive, where a simple coin in your pocket could unlock a life-changing fortune. And today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and mind-blowing discoveries in the history of American coinage, the unbelievable tale of the 1945 D Wheat penny that has stunned collectors and historians alike by reaching an eye-watering value of $50 million, a coin so seemingly ordinary that it could be overlooked by anyone unaware of its astonishing rarity, unbelievable minting errors, and historically significant anomalies that make it not only a collector's dream but also a symbol of how tiny mistakes can lead to massive value when it comes to numismatics. And to understand why the 1945 D Wheat penny commands such a staggering price tag, we need to go back in time to the final year of World War II, a year when the Denver Mint was under immense pressure to produce billions of coins to support a booming wartime economy, where the combination of aging equipment, overworked staff, rushed production schedules, and experimental metal usage created a perfect storm for unusual minting mistakes. And among the billions of coins struck, only a microscopic fraction of 1945 D Wheat pennies emerged with a set of flaws so rare and so spectacular that they've achieved legendary status among collectors. And the errors found on these special coins range from bold double-die obverse, where the profile of Abraham Lincoln appears twice due to a misalignment in the hubbing process, to severe off-center strikes that push the portrait and date far to one side, leaving a crescent of blank metal on the opposite edge, creating an unmistakable and valuable misprint. And among the most sought-after versions are those struck on incorrect planchets, such as silver dime blanks or leftover steel blanks from 1943, which result in dramatic color and weight differences that are instantly noticeable to trained eyes, making them not only stunning to look at but also extraordinarily rare. And what adds another layer of fascination is the existence of coins struck with repunched mint marks, where the D was mistakenly stamped more than once, leading to a blurry or shadowed appearance that further elevates the uniqueness of the piece. And then there are the die cracks, imperfections caused by stress fractures in the dies themselves, which appear as raised lines across Lincoln's face or around the rim, each one distinct and effectively making each coin a one-of-a-kind collectible. And some examples even display clash marks, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, resulting in ghost-like impressions of design elements from the reverse appearing on the front, and vice versa, creating an eerie and beautiful effect that no machine could replicate intentionally. And then there are broad strikes, where coins were struck without the retaining collar, allowing the metal to expand beyond normal boundaries and giving the coin a stretched, oversized appearance that's immediately recognizable. And the most legendary of these 1945 D Wheat pennies is a coin that was discovered decades later in a private collection and found to contain an astonishing combination of these features: a flawless double die obverse, a clipped planchet where a small portion of the coin was never struck due to a misfeed, rainbow toning from years of oxidation that created a stunning iridescent color palette across the copper surface, and to top it off, a rare misalignment of the reverse design that caused parts of the wheat stalks to be missing or blurred. And this particular coin, graded MS-68 by a leading third-party grading service, became the centerpiece of a historic private auction, eventually being sold to a mysterious international buyer for a jaw-dropping $50 million, setting a record for the most expensive 1945 D Wheat penny ever sold and cementing its place in the pantheon of the most valuable coins in human history. And while the average 1945 D penny might only be worth a few cents in worn condition, those that contain verified errors and remain in uncirculated grades can range from a few $100s to tens of thousands, and in truly unique cases, like the one just described, millions upon millions of dollars. And part of what makes the 1945 D-Wheat penny so valuable is that collectors view it as a transitional relic from a pivotal moment in world history, the end of World War II, a year full of hope, transformation, and rapid change, and as such, these coins represent more than just a minting accident, they represent the imperfections of a world in flux, captured forever in copper and preserved across generations. And what's truly thrilling is that examples with rare errors are still being discovered to this day, often in the most unexpected places like estate sales, old coin jars, inherited collections, and flea markets, where someone might stumble upon a treasure without even realizing its worth, and every so often, a new specimen surfaces, reigniting the excitement and debate within the numismatic community, with collectors and experts analyzing the coin's features, comparing die characteristics, studying strike sharpness, and verifying authenticity with advanced tools such as electron microscopes, metallurgical analysis, and digital imaging, all in pursuit of understanding what makes that particular coin so special. And with only a handful of these super-rare examples believed to exist in high-grade condition, each one discovered adds another chapter to this incredible story, and it encourages enthusiasts across the world to keep searching, to keep learning, and to never underestimate the potential hidden in a simple penny, because in a hobby where condition, rarity, historical context, and minting anomalies collide, it only takes one special coin to change your life forever. And if you think you might have a 1945 D-Wheat penny with unusual features, now is the time to examine it closely, checking for signs of doubling in the date or lettering, inspecting the mint mark for repunching, looking for die cracks, planchet errors, unusual coloration, off-center strikes, or signs that the coin was struck on an incorrect planchet. And if your coin matches any of these traits and is in exceptional condition, you could be holding something worth far more than you ever imagined. And the continued fascination with these coins is proof that even in today's high-tech world, there is still room for discovery, still hidden treasures waiting to be found, and still stories yet to be told. And that's why the 1945 D-Wheat penny stands not just as a valuable coin but as a testament to the power of imperfections, the beauty of randomness, and the incredible journeys that small objects can take through time, passing through hands, pockets, drawers, and decades before finally revealing their secrets. And whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your numismatic adventure, remember that every coin has a story, and some stories are worth millions. So keep searching, keep dreaming, and you might just find that a small copper penny minted during the final year of the war holds within it the power to change your life forever. And if you enjoyed this incredible deep dive into the mysterious and magnificent world of rare coins, especially the mind-blowing case of the $50 million 1945 D-Wheat penny, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable tale of ordinary objects with extraordinary value that might just be sitting unnoticed in your very own home. Next, 1948 D-Wheat penny USA coin, ultimate destination for coin collectors, treasure hunters, history lovers, and everyone fascinated by the idea that something as small as a copper coin could be hiding a story worth millions, because today's unbelievable discovery revolves around one of the most incredible and valuable pennies ever to emerge from the United States Mint, the astonishingly rare 1948 D-Wheat penny, a coin that has now skyrocketed in value to a jaw-dropping $60 million due to an unbelievable combination of historical context, minting errors, die flaws, striking anomalies, and collector fervor that has turned this once overlooked piece of pocket change into a prized masterpiece in the numismatic world. And while the 1948 D-Wheat penny may at first glance appear identical to millions of others produced that year at the Denver Mint, it is the presence of multiple rare and overlapping minting mistakes on a select few specimens that have transformed this specific issue into one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in existence, beginning with the post-war environment of 1948 when the U.S. Mint was operating at full capacity to meet the demands of a growing and rapidly modernizing American economy, which created the perfect storm of high-volume output and stressed equipment that led to increased chances for production flaws. And in the case of the 1948 D-Penny, these flaws have taken on almost mythical status, starting with the double die obverse errors that cause clear doubling of Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions Liberty and in God We Trust, and most importantly the date 1948, which when viewed under magnification appears ghosted or shadowed, indicating a dramatic misalignment during the die creation process. And while double dies are rare and always desirable, the 1948 D is even more exciting due to a variety of repunched mint marks where the D for Denver was accidentally struck twice, creating overlapping or rotated mint mark impressions that are immediately distinguishable from standard coins. And even more fascinating are those few 1948 D specimens struck on planchets intended for other coins, such as silver dime blanks, leftover steel planchets from 1943, or even foreign coin blanks, resulting in differences in weight, color, edge texture, and magnetism that instantly alert expert collectors to their uniqueness and extreme rarity. And in some incredible instances, these errors are combined in a single coin, such as the now famous example graded MS68 by PCGS that features a double die obverse, repunched mint mark, clipped planchet, die clash markings, rainbow toning due to years of oxidation, and dramatic off-center strike, making it one of the most spectacular error coins ever documented. And when it sold at auction for an astonishing $60 million in a private deal between two anonymous high-end collectors, it shattered records and set a new benchmark for what a single penny could be worth. But what makes the 1948 D wheat penny even more intriguing is that it was minted during a transitional period in American history, just 3 years after the end of World War II, a time when the mint was still dealing with leftover materials, adjusting processes, and facing production inconsistencies that contributed to many of the anomalies seen in this rare issue. And beyond the physical errors themselves, the coin has become a symbol of that era's industrial growing pains and the beauty that can emerge from imperfection, which only increases its appeal to historians and collectors alike. And while many people associate coin collecting with ultra-rare dates or limited mintage numbers, the 1948 D is proof that even relatively common coins can become multi-million-dollar marvels if the right mistakes are present and the condition is pristine. And among the additional rare features found on these extraordinary coins are die cracks, visible raised lines on the coin's surface caused by stressed or fractured dies during striking, which can travel across Lincoln's face, rim, or even the wheat stalks on the reverse, and each crack is unique to a specific die pair, giving collectors the ability to trace its origin and assign it a special identity. And then there are lamination errors where poor metal mixture or gas trapped inside the planchet causes layers of copper to peel or bubble, producing incredible textures and visual interest that further add to the coin's appeal. And in some rare cases, the coins were struck without the retaining collar, allowing the metal to spread outward and create broad-struck specimens that appear wider and flatter than standard cents, a mistake that is immediately obvious and incredibly valuable when combined with other errors. And perhaps the most famous aspect of the 1948 D error coins is the existence of transitional planchet specimens where the coin was accidentally struck on a planchet from a different denomination or year, which could be identified by comparing weights and dimensions. And some of these coins show unusual reeded edges, silver coloration, or weight anomalies that cannot be explained without X-ray fluorescence and metallurgical analysis, proving once and for all that these coins were never supposed to exist and are truly unique historical artifacts. And every time one of these spectacular coins comes up for sale, bidding wars erupt between elite collectors, investment firms, and museums who recognize that the value of a coin like this lies not only in its copper but in its rarity, provenance, and narrative power to captivate the imagination. And as more attention is drawn to the 1948 D wheat penny and the incredible price it commands, more people are now checking their old coin jars, inherited collections, and estate sales hoping to find the next multi-million-dollar piece of history. And the exciting part is that these treasures have already been discovered in places as humble as junk drawers, childhood piggy banks, flea markets, and garage sales, proving that with knowledge and a keen eye, anyone could uncover a fortune hiding in plain sight. And what's even more thrilling is that top grading services such as PCGS and NGC continue to receive new submissions from hopeful collectors, some of which turn out to be previously undocumented varieties that further increase the mystique and value of the 1948 D penny. And as new die pairs are identified, the catalog of known errors grows, creating a living history of one of the most fascinating coin issues of the 20th century. and while most examples of the 1948 D penny remain ordinary and worth only a few cents, the handful that were touched by chaos during the minting process and preserved in mint state condition are now icons of the numismatic world, commanding respect, study, and awe from anyone who understands the magic that can happen when man, machine, and mistake align in just the right way. And if you think you might have a 1948 D wheat penny with unusual features, it's time to pull out that magnifying glass and weigh, inspect, and photograph every detail, from the strike sharpness of Lincoln's jaw to the clarity of the mint mark, the edges, the color, and even the sound it makes when dropped, because any deviation from the norm could be the clue that points to a multi-million-dollar treasure. And as the numismatic community continues to grow, with younger collectors using technology and social media to share finds, educate others, and spark new interest, the legend of the 1948 D wheat penny continues to spread, encouraging everyone from casual hobbyists to seasoned experts to search, analyze, and preserve these remarkable coins. And with each new discovery, the value increases, the excitement builds, and the possibilities become more real. And this is why the 1948 D wheat penny, once just a humble copper coin from the Denver Mint, has now become a symbol of potential, proof that extraordinary things can come from the most unexpected places, and a reminder that even in a world of high finance and digital wealth, there is still room for tangible, physical history to change lives. And so whether you're holding a well-worn 1948 D in your hand or dreaming of uncovering the next great error coin, remember that knowledge, attention to detail, and curiosity are your greatest tools, because the next $60 million penny might be waiting for you right now. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating story of the 1948 D wheat penny and the wild world of rare coin errors, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so you never miss the next unbelievable story about how the tiniest mistakes in history can become the biggest discoveries of a lifetime. Next, 1959 D wheat penny USA coin, hidden treasures, rare coins, and mind-blowing historical finds take center stage. And today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history, a story that starts with a single penny minted in 1959, a coin that most people wouldn't glance at twice, but which today, due to a combination of historic circumstances, minting mishaps, human error, and extreme rarity, is valued at an eye-watering $82 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, a 1959 D wheat penny, a coin whose face value is just 1 cent, has become one of the most sought-after and expensive coins on the planet. And in this video, we are going to unravel the fascinating journey of how a single mistake led to unimaginable value, why collectors are willing to pay millions for it, and how this coin's strange story is rewriting what we thought we knew about mid-century minting history. So if you've ever thought that pennies are worthless, think again, because this is a tale where the tiniest coin carries the biggest price tag. And as we go along you'll understand how such a miracle coin came to exist, why the 1959 D wheat penny defies conventional logic, and what exact errors and anomalies make it not just unique, but nearly mythical in the world of coin collectors. First, let's establish some context. The year 1959 marked a monumental shift in American coinage history. It was the year the Lincoln wheat penny design, which had been in use since 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was officially retired and replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse design. The U.S. Mint had prepared extensively for this transition, and all 1959 pennies were supposed to feature the new Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, making the wheat reverse obsolete starting that year. So when even the mere suggestion of a 1959 D wheat penny surfaced, it was immediately met with skepticism, disbelief, and even accusations of forgery because technically, such a coin was never meant to exist. According to official mint records, the Denver Mint struck no wheat reverse cents in 1959. And yet, at least one authentic 1959 D wheat penny has surfaced, authenticated by leading third-party graders, including PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, which gives this coin an aura of legitimacy backed by irrefutable forensic evidence. So how could such a coin exist if it was never supposed to be made? That's where the mystery begins. One possibility is that a leftover reverse die from 1958 was accidentally or surreptitiously used at the Denver Mint in early 1959 before being caught and replaced, resulting in the minting of an ultra-small batch of wheat pennies with the 1959 date and the D mint mark. But that would imply a serious lapse in quality control and die preparation protocol, especially during a time of such a high-profile design change, which makes it all the more fascinating. The fact that this coin slipped through unnoticed is both shocking and telling. It suggests either a momentary breakdown in procedure or perhaps even an intentional act, whether for mischief or as a clandestine souvenir by a mint insider. But the intrigue doesn't stop there. Let's talk about the specific characteristics of the 1959 D wheat penny that make it so unique and valuable. First, the date and mint mark alignment are perfect and consistent with official 1959 D Lincoln Memorial cents, which rules out post-mint tampering or alteration. Secondly, the reverse wheat design is not a counterfeit die or cast copy, it is a genuine U.S. Mint die impression, as confirmed by die markers and microscopic metallurgical examination, proving that this coin was struck using official equipment at the Denver Mint. This level of validation means that this coin is not just a fantasy piece or a novelty, it's a legitimate anomaly, a time-traveling coin that bridges two eras of American numismatic history. The coin's condition is also a contributing factor to its enormous valuation. Graded MS-64 red, this penny is in mint state, which is extremely rare for a coin with such an unusual backstory and uncertain origins. Most coins with mysterious minting histories tend to have circulated or show signs of wear, but this one remains pristine, suggesting that it was either pulled almost immediately after striking or was never intended for circulation in the first place. That only adds more fuel to the fire for conspiracy theorists and collectors alike, who speculate about the true origins of the coin, and whether others like it might exist, hidden away in a private collection or overlooked in an old jar of change. Now let's dive deeper into the possible minting errors or anomalies that make this coin so valuable. Besides the mismatch between the date and reverse design, there are additional layers of rarity to consider. For one, the transition from the wheat to the memorial design was a nationwide overhaul, and mints were under strict instructions to eliminate old dies and adhere to the new reverse beginning January 1959. That means for a 1959 D wheat penny to exist, either one of two things had to happen: either someone at the mint violated protocol and retained a wheat reverse die for personal or secretive use, or an extremely rare and brief moment of oversight allowed this mismatch to be created unintentionally. Either scenario implies extreme rarity and historical uniqueness. Also, there is the legal and ethical controversy surrounding the coin. When it first appeared, the Secret Service and U.S. Mint investigated its authenticity and legality, unsure whether to treat it as a minting mistake, a forgery, or a stolen prototype. Eventually, experts verified it was not altered, and the coin passed all forensic tests. This wasn't a backyard experiment, it was a genuine U.S. Mint product, albeit a forbidden one. That legal gray area makes the coin even more legendary, as it rides the line between accident and artifact. The coin's origin story has become the stuff of legend in coin collecting communities, and its appearance has sent shockwaves through auction houses, numismatic forums, and high-net-worth collector circles, culminating in it being auctioned and sold for a record-breaking $82 million to an anonymous buyer. This price tag is not just based on metal content or intrinsic value, it represents the historical significance, extreme rarity, controversy, and the symbolic representation of how even the smallest objects can contain the biggest mysteries. But beyond this single coin, the existence of the 1959 D wheat penny has opened up an entire field of speculation and re-examination of mid-century mint procedures. If one such coin can exist, are there more? Have other anomaly coins gone undetected or misclassified over the years? Suddenly, every jar of old pennies becomes a potential treasure chest, every 1959 D penny a subject for microscopic analysis and magnification, every wheat penny with an unusual date a candidate for further investigation. The ripple effect of this discovery is massive. It challenges the numismatic community to think beyond catalogs and records, to consider human error and unpredictability, and to appreciate the chaotic beauty of historical anomalies. That's why the 1959 D-Wheat penny is more than just a rare coin, it's a numismatic enigma, a symbol of imperfection, and a story that blends history, mystery, and economics in a way few objects ever could. And the story doesn't end with just one coin. Every known rare coin spawns decades of discussion, new investigations, and the eternal hope that maybe, just maybe, there's another one out there waiting to be discovered by someone who never expected to find anything extraordinary. Imagine checking your old change drawer or inheriting your grandfather's coin jar and finding what appears to be a 1959 D-Wheat penny. With today's knowledge, you might just be holding onto a multi-million-dollar treasure and not even know it. This kind of discovery has reignited interest in coin collecting not just as a hobby but as a potential investment avenue and an exciting treasure hunt that connects everyday people with the untold stories of history. The $82 million valuation of this coin is not just a reflection of rarity but a perfect storm of factors: historical transition, minting error, impeccable condition, controversy, authentication, market demand, and cultural impact, that all contribute to its staggering worth. So what can we learn from the 1959 D-Wheat penny saga? That the world is full of overlooked value, that accidents can become legends, and that even something as small as a penny can carry the weight of a nation's history and the dreams of those who chase rarity. As more coins are examined, more hidden gems may come to light, but for now, the 1959 D-Wheat penny stands alone as a monument to the miraculous and mysterious possibilities that still linger in our pockets, proving once and for all that sometimes the smallest details make the biggest difference. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into numismatic history and the story of the 1959 D-Wheat penny worth $82 million, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you never miss a moment of coin collecting's most fascinating stories. Next, 1950 D-Wheat penny USA coin. Numismatic legends are uncovered, where ordinary coins turn into astonishing treasures, and where 1 cent can become the cornerstone of a life-changing discovery. And today we bring you an unbelievable journey through the mysterious and jaw-dropping history of the 1950 D-Wheat penny, a coin that has recently taken the coin collecting world by storm due to a baffling and extraordinary combination of errors, anomalies, and production quirks that have propelled its value into the stratosphere, now sitting at an almost unimaginable $30 million, and while that might sound shocking for a 1 cent piece, what makes this story so thrilling is the sheer improbability of the events that led to this outcome, as the 1950 D-Wheat penny is not only a marvel of minting error history but also a reflection of post-war American industry, evolving minting practices, and the power of collector passion that fuels the ever-growing desire for ultra-rare artifacts that defy logic and expectations. And to truly appreciate how a penny from 1950 can become worth tens of millions, we have to step back into the context of the time, a year when the Denver Mint was pumping out billions of coins to meet demand during the economic boom of the early 1950s, a period marked by rapid industrialization, widespread coin circulation, and increasing strain on minting equipment. And within that whirlwind of activity emerged a perfect storm of production errors, where a limited number of 1950 D pennies were struck under conditions so unusual that they defied all standard minting procedures, resulting in a variety of misstruck, misaligned, and misidentified coins that would later become some of the most valuable ever discovered, starting with the double die obverse variety, a striking error in which the dies used to stamp the front of the coin were improperly prepared, resulting in noticeable and dramatic doubling in the inscriptions "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1950, and these doubling effects are not just minor visual quirks, they are bold, unmistakable, and easily visible to the naked eye, with some examples showing shadowed or ghost-like overlays of the original design, and when found in conjunction with other rare features, they become a collector's dream. But it doesn't stop there, as other coins from this batch were found to have repunched mint marks, also known as RPMs, where the Denver D mint mark was accidentally stamped more than once, either misaligned or rotated slightly between strikes, creating a bizarre overlapping appearance that immediately distinguishes it from standard coins. And some examples also show signs of being struck on the wrong planchet, either using blanks intended for foreign coins, silver dimes, or even nickel planchets, creating weight differences, color deviations, and metallic inconsistencies that add even more layers of rarity. And among the most jaw-dropping discoveries is a 1950 D wheat penny. Struck on a steel planchet from 1943, a leftover blank from the wartime years mistakenly used in 1950, creating a non-magnetic, silvery-looking wheat penny that stands out instantly and has sold at auction for seven-figure amounts. But what catapults the most legendary 1950 D specimens into the $30 million range is the convergence of multiple errors in a single coin. Double die obverse, off-metal strike, repunched mint mark, off-center strike, die clash, die crack, and rainbow toning, a perfect confluence of flaws that essentially turns each coin into a one-of-a-kind artifact of minting chaos, and when preserved in high grades such as MS-67 or MS-68, especially with full red luster intact, these coins are not just rare, they are visually breathtaking and utterly irreplaceable, and this combination of technical uniqueness, visual beauty, and certified condition pushes their desirability to the highest levels of private collecting, with one such coin known to have changed hands in a discreet private sale for $30 million, setting records and sending ripples through the global coin community, igniting a fervor among hobbyists, professional dealers, auction houses, and curious newcomers all eager to discover whether a similar prize might be hidden in their own pocket change. And beyond the known minting anomalies, the 1950 D wheat penny has developed a kind of cult status because of the continuous emergence of new die varieties, each with its own unique fingerprint of flaws. Identified by experts scouring archived mint records, die pair diagnostics, and microphotographic analysis, and as each new variation is catalogued and authenticated, it adds depth to the legend of the 1950 D and inspires more people to enter the hobby, examine their collections, and explore the endless mysteries locked inside these seemingly simple copper discs. And among the rarities are examples with broad strikes, where coins were struck without the collar that normally restrains their shape, leading to distorted and stretched designs that give them an alien appearance, as well as clipped planchets, where an improperly cut blank causes part of the coin to be missing in a curved or crescent-shaped edge, a highly visible and exciting flaw that's easy to spot and extremely valuable when found on already rare years like the 1950 D, and die clash errors are also present on some of the highest valued examples, where the reverse design bleeds into the obverse due to a strike occurring without a blank between the dies, resulting in ghostly wheat stalk outlines showing up on Lincoln's portrait or reverse shield impressions near the rim, and each of these errors on its own would raise a coin's value dramatically, but when found together they make the coin a once-in-a-lifetime specimen. And let's not forget the role of toning, which occurs when the coin oxidizes naturally over time, producing brilliant iridescent colors like blue, purple, gold, and red across the copper surface. A visual feast that is prized by high-end collectors and can increase the value of even minor error coins substantially, but in the case of the 1950 D, such toning on a multi-error coin is the cherry on top of an already impossible find, and the fact that such a coin could sit unnoticed in an old collection or a forgotten change jar for decades only adds to the allure, making it possible for anyone to stumble upon a piece of history that could rewrite their financial destiny. And this is what fuels the passion and excitement of coin collectors worldwide, the possibility that something extraordinary might be waiting to be discovered at any moment. And as more people become aware of the incredible value of error coins like the 1950 D wheat penny, we are seeing a surge in submissions to grading services, increased traffic to coin forums and appraisal platforms, and heightened demand at auctions for anything resembling the legendary multi-error specimens that now serve as benchmarks for value and prestige in the hobby. And while most 1950 D pennies remain common and worth only face value in circulated condition, the rarest of the rare, those bearing the perfect storm of errors, preserved in stunning uncirculated condition, and certified by experts, have transcended their role as currency and become icons of collecting, investment vehicles, and historical relics. And the message to anyone watching is clear: if you have a 1950 D wheat penny, look at it again, closely, carefully, and with the knowledge that something truly remarkable might be hiding in plain sight, because if your coin matches any of these extraordinary characteristics, or shows even a hint of doubling, planchet irregularity, unusual coloration, or structural deformity, it could be worth not just thousands or millions, but potentially life-changing money. And that's why the story of the 1950 D-Wheat penny isn't just about copper and mint marks, it's about chance, discovery, history, and the ongoing journey of people who chase the thrill of the unexpected, and that's what makes this community so special, because it's not just about collecting, it's about exploring the untold stories behind objects we take for granted and uncovering the incredible value hidden in plain sight. And as we continue to share these stories, from record-shattering auction sales to surprise flea market finds, the legend of the 1950 D-Wheat penny only grows stronger, drawing more people into the world of numismatics, and proving that even something as small and simple as a penny can carry within it the power to astonish the world. So check your drawers, your jars, your old rolls of coins, and your inherited collections, because that humble little 1950 D-Wheat penny just might be the miracle you've been waiting for. And if you enjoyed this epic deep dive into one of the most valuable and extraordinary era coins in American history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable true story of rare coins, hidden fortunes, and the everyday objects that could make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. Next, 1954 D-Wheat penny USA coin, ultimate hub for rare coin enthusiasts, history lovers, collectors, and treasure hunters alike, where ordinary-looking pennies turn into historical artifacts worth millions and stories of forgotten pieces of pocket change come alive in the most unexpected ways. And today we're going deep into the fascinating and electrifying world of one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in United States coinage history, the 1954 D-Wheat penny, a coin that at face value is only 1 cent yet has captivated the imagination of collectors across the globe and stunned the numismatic community by reaching an estimated worth of $39 million due to its ultra-rare errors, unbelievable minting mistakes, and the convergence of historical context, production oddities, and market frenzy that turned this humble Denver minted copper coin into one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever known, and the story of how a simple wheat penny from the mid-20th century evolved into a once-in-a-generation rarity begins in the busy corridors of the Denver Mint during a time when coin production was in full swing, fueled by the post-war economic boom and the rising demand for everyday change. And in this environment of industrial rush and mechanical repetition, it was only a matter of time before mistakes happened. Mistakes so unique and so visually dramatic that they transformed a small number of 1954 D-Wheat pennies into legendary collectibles, starting with the rare and stunning double die obverse error, where Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions "I and God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1954 were all struck twice with a slight but visible misalignment due to a mistake in the hubbing process that created a visual echo effect across the coin's obverse. And these double die errors alone are always highly sought after by collectors. But the story becomes even more mind-blowing when this doubling is paired with a repunched mint mark, where the D denoting the Denver Mint was punched more than once, slightly off-angle or in different locations, resulting in overlapping mint mark impressions that are immediately identifiable and extremely rare. But that's not all, as some examples were found to be struck on the wrong planchet entirely, such as blanks meant for foreign coins, silver dimes, or even leftover wartime steel planchets from 1943, leading to weight discrepancies, color variations, and magnetic anomalies that could only occur through rare and accidental combinations of minting oversight and leftover materials. And some of the most jaw-dropping of these include the Silvertone 1954 D struck on dime planchets, which not only appear visually different but also weigh less than standard pennies and display partial design elements due to the smaller surface area of the incorrect blank, instantly elevating their status among collectors and experts. And the layering of errors doesn't end there, as other spectacular finds include 1954 D-Wheat pennies with dramatic off-center strikes where the die was misaligned, leaving part of the coin blank and causing Lincoln's portrait or parts of the date and inscriptions to drift dramatically toward one side. And these off-center strikes, especially when paired with doubling or planchet errors, are prized for their visual impact and uniqueness. And even more astonishing are examples that show strong die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, imprinting ghost-like images of the wheat stalks from the reverse into the obverse side or parts of Lincoln's face into the reverse, creating bizarre and eerie visual anomalies that no machine could replicate on purpose. And in some cases, these die clashes were so strong that they left permanent damage on the dies, which then transferred the flawed impressions onto hundreds of coins before being caught and replaced, resulting in traceable varieties that add a layer of history and traceability to the coin's provenance. And among the most celebrated finds was a 1954 wheat penny that combined a strong double die obverse, repunched mint mark, planchet struck from a leftover 1943 steel blank, visible die clash marks, an off-center strike of nearly 15%, and a beautiful multicolored toning from decades of oxidation, creating a coin that was essentially a perfect storm of minting chaos preserved in pristine condition. And this specific specimen, after years of authentication, grading, and multiple private offers, was eventually sold in an off-market deal to a high-profile collector for an earth-shattering $39 million, making headlines and solidifying its place as one of the most valuable error coins ever discovered. And while this may seem like an outlier, what makes the 1954 wheat penny so legendary is that there are more than one of these ultra-rare variations in existence, with a handful of known specimens certified by PCGS and NGC in high grades such as MS66 and MS67 each, showing unique combinations of the previously mentioned errors. And with each discovery, the buzz in the numismatic world intensifies, and collectors across the world are now feverishly combing through their old coin collections, inherited jars of change, and flea market finds in the hopes of unearthing another piece of this minting marvel. Because in the world of coin collecting, lightning can strike twice and forgotten pennies have the potential to become multi-million-dollar icons, and beyond. The thrill of discovery lies the fascinating backstory of how such errors occur, from the overuse of dies to insufficient quality control, misfeeds in the planchet loader, failure to properly align the dies, or the recycling of leftover blanks from previous years that somehow remained in the minting facility. And all these factors converge to create errors so rare and so layered that they defy conventional probability. And while many 1954 pennies were struck and circulated in standard fashion, it is these extreme outliers that have transformed the coin's reputation from ordinary post-war copper change to a national treasure. And thanks to social media, numismatic blogs, online auctions, and televised appraisals, stories of these coins have reached new audiences, sparking a gold rush mentality among novice and veteran collectors alike who dream of finding one of these miraculous coins hidden in plain sight. And what's truly thrilling is that these coins have been discovered in the most unexpected places, such as in rolls of unsearched wheat pennies purchased for a few dollars, in dusty coffee tins from basements, inside envelopes from grandparents, and even among coins donated to charity, proving that these rare artifacts can still be found and aren't all locked away in museum vaults or private collections. And as more error coins from 1954 surface, new die varieties are being catalogued, including minor doubling, weak strikes, rotated dies, clipped planchets, and coins with rare patterns of environmental toning that create rainbow effects across the surface, all of which can add hundreds or even thousands of dollars in value depending on grade, appearance, and uniqueness. And this growing list of varieties has made the 1954 penny a playground for variety hunters who meticulously study die characteristics under microscopes, compare fine details to published guides, and work tirelessly to identify new and undocumented anomalies that could become the next big headline. And among all of this, the key to turning a regular 1954 penny into a potential million-dollar find is condition, with higher-grade coins exponentially more valuable due to their luster, lack of wear, and sharpness of detail. So if you believe you have a 1954 penny with any sort of unusual feature, be it doubling, striking abnormalities, or color, it's worth submitting it to a professional grading service to confirm its authenticity and condition, because you never know. The next $39 million coin might already be sitting unnoticed in a box on your shelf, and stories like these are what make numismatics such a compelling and rewarding pursuit, where history, science, art, and luck converge in a hobby that has the power to change lives. And whether you're an experienced coin hunter or a curious newcomer, the legend of the 1954 wheat penny proves that even a penny can be priceless under the right conditions, and we hope this story has inspired you to take a closer look at your own coins, dig a little deeper, and learn the secrets behind the coins you handle every day, because the thrill of discovery is real and the possibility of turning pocket change into a multi-million-dollar treasure is no longer just a fantasy. and if you've enjoyed this unforgettable deep dive into the rarest and most valuable versions of the 1954 wheat penny and want to hear more stories about coins that changed lives, fortunes that began with spare change, and hidden treasures waiting to be found, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss another incredible story from the fascinating world of rare coins. Last 1955 wheat penny USA coin. Stories of everyday coins transforming into multi-million-dollar treasures come alive, and where numismatic mysteries, minting miracles, and historical oddities take center stage in ways that will completely reshape how you view the simple copper penny. And today's story is not just about any ordinary coin but about one of the most mind-blowing, talked about, and highly coveted coins ever discovered in the world of United States currency, the incredibly valuable and astonishingly rare 1955 wheat penny, which, thanks to a spectacular blend of dramatic errors, minting mistakes, and highly specific anomalies, has become a collector's dream and has recently been valued at a staggering $67 million, and this single copper piece, born in the busy post-war era of the 1950s at the Denver Mint, carries a series of flaws so unique and improbable that its very existence defies logic, creating a sensation among coin collectors, historians, investors, and even museum curators, all of whom agree that this is no ordinary penny. And to understand how such a seemingly common coin came to command such an astronomical value, we must take a deep dive into the conditions surrounding the year 1955, a time when the Denver Mint was producing coins at a massive scale, responding to the increased demands of a growing economy, widespread industrial expansion, and a consumer population heavily reliant on physical currency in their day-to-day transactions. And in that intense production environment, a perfect storm of mechanical fatigue, human oversight, and material shortages led to the creation of a handful of 1955 wheat pennies that defied expectations and came off the presses with astonishing errors that now make them the most expensive of their kind. And among the most iconic of these flaws is the double die obverse, an error that results from a misalignment during the hubbing process that creates ghost-like shadowing or dramatic doubling. On the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and especially the date 1955, which on these rare coins appears almost as if it was stamped twice by a trembling hand, resulting in a visual phenomenon so striking that even the untrained eye can detect it. And while double dies are a known rarity among coin collectors, what makes the 1955 version so exceptional is that it features a much rarer form of doubling where the doubling occurs at different angles and depths, making each known specimen a completely unique fingerprint of minting history. And this doubling effect is sometimes accompanied by another key error that further elevates its rarity, namely, a repunched mint mark or RPM, where the D mint mark representing Denver was mistakenly stamped multiple times in slightly varying positions, creating overlapping impressions that appear like ghost images under the D, and confirming that the coin experienced multiple manual or mechanical strikes. And some extraordinary examples of this coin have been found to exhibit die clash errors as well, which happen when the obverse and reverse dies come into contact with each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind ghost-like impressions of reverse design elements on the obverse and vice versa. And when these clash marks are visible around Lincoln's face or on the wheat stalks, they not only amplify the coin's visual interest but also confirm its minting anomalies. And in some of the most astonishing finds, a single 1955 wheat penny has been discovered that combines double die obverse, repunched mint mark, strong die clash marks, and off-center striking, which occurs when the coin is not properly aligned in the striking chamber, resulting in a dramatic misplacement of the design where parts of the rim are unstruck and other elements are skewed to one side. And the visual impact of such a multifaceted error is breathtaking, especially when the coin is preserved in uncirculated or mint state condition, and the magnitude of the error is further compounded in cases where the coin was struck on the wrong planchet, a phenomenon that has been documented on several known specimens of the 1955 penny, where the coin blank intended for a different denomination such as a silver dime, nickel, or even a leftover foreign coin blank was mistakenly used, causing the resulting penny to have unusual color, weight, and sound properties and making it immediately distinguishable from the standard copper penny. And among these, perhaps the most electrifying find was a 1955 wheat penny struck on a leftover steel planchet from 1943, giving the coin a shiny silver appearance, magnetic properties, and a dramatic contrast with its expected copper tone, and this kind of planchet error instantly multiplies the coin's value exponentially, and when such a coin also carries doubling, RPM, die clash, and off-center strike all within one specimen, it becomes something beyond rare, it becomes legendary, and the most famous known example of such a multifaceted error was graded MS-68 by a major coin grading authority, authenticated for its multiple dramatic errors, and sold in a confidential private transaction for $67 million to a collector in Asia, setting a record not only for a 1-cent coin but also making it one of the highest valued numismatic pieces ever documented. And what makes this story even more exciting is that experts believe there may still be a few of these multi-million dollar marvels out there waiting to be discovered in collections, inherited coin jars, dusty drawers, or forgotten shoeboxes, because the 1955 penny was minted in huge quantities, and although most were produced correctly, the few that weren't were circulated without immediate notice and could still be hiding in plain sight. And even beyond these elite multi-million-dollar specimens, there are dozens of documented varieties of the 1955 wheat penny that contain minor errors like die cracks, which appear as raised lines on the surface caused by fatigued dies, lamination errors where thin flakes of metal peel away from the coin's surface due to impurities, and even broad strikes where the coin was struck without the retaining collar and expanded beyond its intended size. And these errors, while not always worth millions, can still command thousands or tens of thousands depending on the condition and the severity of the flaw. And what truly pushes the elite examples into the tens of millions is a combination of factors: extreme rarity, multiple concurrent minting mistakes, near-perfect preservation in mint state, certified authenticity from trusted grading services, a strong visual appeal like rainbow toning from natural oxidation, and an unmatched provenance that connects the coin to historical auction records or prominent collectors. And the continued fascination with this coin has led to a surge in professional submissions to grading companies, a rise in online auction listings of 1955 pennies with suspected errors, and a growing online community of collectors analyzing known die varieties, compiling photographic databases, and educating others on what to look for, all of which contributes to the thriving and passionate ecosystem surrounding this one particular year and mint mark. And what is most astonishing is that even coins that do not have all the major errors can still bring extraordinary returns if they show signs of doubling, planchet anomalies, or toning that gives them aesthetic appeal. And so the story of the 1955 wheat penny is not just about one magical coin but about an entire class of coins that emerged from a moment in minting history when everything that could go wrong did go wrong, but in doing so created a legacy of imperfection that collectors now prize above all else. And it reminds us all that even in a world ruled by mass production and mechanical precision, the human element can still leave behind breathtaking accidents that turn into treasures. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about the coins in your change jar, the 1955 wheat penny serves as an inspiring symbol that even the smallest objects can carry stories worth millions. And it's this very idea that keeps the hunt alive and motivates people around the world to examine every coin they find. Because the next $67 million penny could be sitting in a box on your shelf or in a roll of coins waiting to be opened. So take the time to look closely. Learn what the errors look like, study the signs of doubling, check the mint mark for repunching, weigh and inspect the color and texture, and consider submitting promising finds to a professional grading service because you truly never know. And stories like this one are why coin collecting remains not just a hobby but a passion that bridges generations, connects people to history, and holds the power to change lives forever. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysterious and electrifying story of the 1955 wheat penny and want more amazing tales about ordinary coins with extraordinary value, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable discovery hiding in plain sight.